Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome back to ɪnˈdevə. Today we're talking about something that I like to call the revolving door. I'm sure you have people in your life who are like this, and it's not a super easy topic to talk about, but I mean, I didn't create ɪnˈdevə to just talk about easy stuff. I also created it to talk about the hard stuff and stuff that you may not know or you may not have heard of or you haven't witnessed yet in your life, but you will, and I'm just here to prepare someone out there for something that you may encounter down the road. So, the revolving door. What I would consider the revolving door of friendship is fickle people and people who walk away. So let's start with the fickle people. You will now see a definition of what fickle is. Changing frequently. Let's take that into consideration. So you saw this as changing frequently someone's interests or loyalties. So you got these shifting sands people that are not rooted and they don't have some sort of foundation in which to build their life, or they put on some sort of facade. There's a couple points I want to make about fickle people. A lot of times fickle people only want something from you. So you may have just gotten a new job, or you got a new car, or you're trying to start a business, or whatever it may be. Let's start with a very small example. You walk into school and you have a brand new pack of gum. Who wants a piece of that gum? Literally everyone. Even the people you're not friends with, those are fickle people who want something from you. Now, on a bigger scale, you've got people who perceive that you have money, or they perceive that you have influence or power of some sort, and they will connect with you simply to, and this is very real talk, so take this as you will, they will connect with you just to try to get something from you. Not every person who becomes your friend is going to be like this. They're not infrequent, but they're infrequent enough that you don't have to constantly be on your guard and put walls up and be like, no one can be my friend because I'm worried about fickle people. But there are people like this out there. In the survey I sent out, listen guys, I'm gonna be talking about this survey for a very long time because honestly, the wealth of information from this thing is just mind-blowing. Anyways, so in the survey I asked a question: how much money do you tend to spend on a friend's gift? Purely just to see what the spectrum was. Okay, I think I had like, you know, $0 to $10 up to $100+. And one of the respondents had a very interesting take in the area that you can fill it in. I don't know who it is because I don't, like I said, totally anonymous survey. But in the response, they put that it was $100 or more that they would spend on their friend's gift. And then in the response section, they said that one of the red flags of friendship is people only wanting stuff from you. That he or she realized that a person was not reciprocating to the level that they were giving. Now, it is better to give than to receive. We all know that. But when it comes to friendship, it is a what? I'm gonna pretend like you just said a two-way street because that's what it is. It's a two-way street. So this person would spend a good deal of money for their friends and they would not reciprocate. So look at your situation. What does that mean for you? Do they just not have money to do that, or are they just being stingy? They also said that they perceived that the person had some sort of influence or something, and they would only get around with them when they thought they could get something from them. So this is a real life example. I'm not just making this up out of my own experience. Someone else, other people have experienced this stuff too. So this is just kind of like a preparation video that you will encounter people like this. Just, you need to be on your guard enough that you're not taken advantage of. That is about as real talk as it gets right there. Another thing that fickle people do is they make excuses. So you ask them for help, or you ask them to do something for you. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that because this, because that, because whatever. Life happens. There are times, look at the friendship pyramid, there are times that it just doesn't work out, right? Life happens, your timing doesn't sync up, whatever. If a friend constantly says no to your favors, constantly will not help you, does not want to help you until it benefits them, a mark of a fickle person. A lot of these videos that I have are really referencing that friendship pyramid. So if you've not watched that video, it might be in your recommendeds. If not, go to the channel, subscribe, and watch that video because it really helps to break down what I'm talking about in these videos. The last mark of a fickle person is they're kind of shallow. All of those characters I just listed are characters of shallow people, but one example in particular happened to my sister. She met a person one time who, she's like, hi, my name is, and she said her name, and the person was like, what's your last name? Literally asked her, what is your last name? As if to make a distinction, are you someone who's worth associating with? And that is a weird thing to say. Either you want to connect with someone and you want to be friends with them, or you just do your pleasantries and move on. There's no reason to be weird about it or like showcase yourself as a shallow person. Like that's just a weird thing to do. So keep that in mind. If you're asking them what their last name is just out of pure curiosity, like you're like, oh, let me put you in my phone, what's your last name? Like that's fine, obviously. But if you're asking them, what kind of family connections do you have? Come on, people. That's just a weird road to walk down. Why would you do that? I don't know. The other part of the revolving door is the people who are kind of like yo-yos, okay? If you don't know what a yo-yo is, or if you haven't seen one in action for a long time, you drop it down and it bounces back up, right? It comes back and it goes wherever you throw it, it's still gonna come back where it belongs. A person who constantly is circling through the revolving door of friendship typically has a new best friend fairly regularly. They have someone that is just their ride or die for the moment, and then within like 6 to 8 to 12 months, that ride or die is gone, either falling out or just natural drifting apart. But then you see this door just and a new best friend comes in that door and they're just going and they're along for the ride until they fling out the other side and the new one steps in and they're just going. I've seen quite a few of these in my life, these kind of friendships, and they're not inherently bad. I would not just stamp, you know, like a negative, like that's, oh, that's terrible, that's a negative thing. I would not just wide brush, just paint that as all negative. It is kind of a dangerous place to be if you're one of the people who is looking for a friendship to like last for the ages, right? If you're looking for a friend that is gonna stick with you through thick and thin, the revolving door is a dangerous place to be, because in there you're gonna find good times, you're gonna find happy memories, you're gonna get some experience of, you know, oh, that crazy memory or whatever with that person, and you might know that person for the rest of your life, but chances are you are not gonna build that bond that you're looking for in the revolving door. People who live in the revolving door, the people who do constantly need a best friend or do constantly have falling out, you can't really just say, oh, they're just a shallow person. You kind of got to know where they're coming from. You got to know more about them. A lot of times a revolving door is sparked from like a trust issue or a family issue. So I would be very careful when you're talking about those people. Like don't just throw them in the terrible person pile. There's not such a pile, but I guess I just created one. Don't just you know, disregard them because, oh, they constantly have a new best friend. Maybe they need the anchor. Which brings me to my last point, the anchor, the anchor, the anchor. There is typically, not, I can't say always, but pretty typically, an anchor to the person who is in the revolving door. Not the people who come flying in and then flying out, but the person who is the door, who just is constantly cycling people through. Just like the yo-yo, when it needs somebody, when it's tired of being away from the home base, snaps back up into place, and there is the yo-yo part, the actual, where the finger is. So the yo-yo has flung around the room, and it snaps back up to the hand. What is the hand? The hand is the anchor for the yo-yo. The anchor is genuine. The anchor is a loving person who cares about the yo-yo, who knows that they may stray away and have their fun, but when they need someone, the anchor still loves them and cares for them. Now the anchor is not gonna like put themselves in a vulnerable position to get hurt by the yo-yo at the revolving door. Whatever analogy works for you. For me right now, the yo-yo is working. So the hand is not going to let the yo-yo just hurt it, but the anchor, the hand, whatever you want to call it, cares about the yo-yo and will be there for it, but their whole life is not wrapped up in the yo-yo. That's just how I've seen it. Again, when I first created this channel, it was not to be the expert on friendship. I just want to help somebody. Because if I would have known when I was between the ages of 12 and 15 and onward, honestly, if I would have known about the yo-yo in the hand, I probably would have been a lot more careful and not had my feelings hurt quite as much, or the emotions that you just get in adolescence. So I don't know. There's more to dive into on that subject, but I guess what I'm saying is be an anchor, be loving, be there for that person, just like I had in the last video. You got to be there for your friends, but don't let the yo-yo control you. Don't let the revolving door person suck you in and then blast you out on the other side. Again, the revolving door person is not necessarily just a terrible person, but you need to have boundaries, you need to have a guard, and be careful. And love that person because they need the love just like anyone else. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a interesting one to make, but it's definitely a topic I wanted to cover. If you have other topics you want explored, DM me at @frend_ever, follow us on frend_ever, and make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, still thumbs up. If there's an anchor in your life, send this video to them, share with them, let them know how much you appreciate them being your anchor. New videos every Saturday, 12 o'clock Pacific time. Subscribe, be the first person to see it. Friendship is a journey. Friendship is an endeavor. I will see you next Saturday on frend_ever.